on a good note.
So quick.
I'm the Curator of Education here at the Muskegon Museum of Art. I want to welcome you and thank you for attending the program tonight. Art Talk Regional Ekphrastic Poetry Contest was something like that I'd had in my mind for a while. It's something that you kind of have program ideas that you'd like to develop, but as a one-man band, sometimes they don't always happen as fast as you would like. So when Julie George and Jerry Lane came to me, Julie had called me, emailed me, and they said, we have this idea, and I said, well, come on in, let's talk. I'm always open. And they came and said, have you heard of Ekphrastic poetry? And I said, what? And they said, Ekphrastic poetry. And Jerry said, well, I took a class, and it's a lot of fun, and it's about responding to a visual art in poetry. And I said, no, but that sounds great, and I like the new 50-cent word. So after that, we decided it would be not only great exposure for our collection, but also a great combination of the arts, the literary arts and the visual arts, in a nice combination. Also celebrating, it was our 100th anniversary last year, so we have some new pieces that we would like people to come and see. You know, as much as we have our old favorites, we have some new favorites too. So we worked together, and Julie and Jerry helped me create a committee. And from that committee, we just hit the ground running. So at this time, I want to recognize the committee that helped me create this, and if you will stand as I call your name so we can recognize you. Julie George. Pam Carney. Jerry Lang. Angie Malloy. And Rita Miller was also on that. Is Rita here? I don't think it's here tonight. And Rita was also on that committee too. So I want to thank the committee because they truly are the reason that I could make this happen. They helped me with a lot of legwork and research and things like that that just really helped me to make the whole contest work as well as it did. And they also were the group that actually judged the poetry, which it doesn't seem that bad, but oh my goodness, there were a lot of work to pick from. So it was a day-long, very daunting, not daunting, but I think exciting task for them, because we just didn't know what we would get. So I want to thank them for helping me. Also, I want to thank the sponsors, the Muskegon Writers Center. Mary Tyler's with us tonight. Right there, so thank you to them. They helped to underwrite the awards for the award-winning poets. And then also the Poetry Society of Michigan also helped underwrite some of that as well. So I want to thank them for making this happen. And last but not least, I want to give a huge thank you to the 67 writers that entered the contest from all over West Michigan. Without them, there would be no contest. They were from all over, and it was great to see. It was Muskegon and Rockford and Bolton and Grand Haven and Holland, and I mean, you name it, they were all over. So it was just a wonderful representation of the talent we have here. So that was great, and it really did achieve what we were hoping. I had a couple come in and they said, you know, we wanted to write about some of these pieces, but we decided to come in and we haven't been here, and this is a wonderful institution, and we have great stuff, and we'll come back. So it really not only paired those poets who may have not been here with some great works of art, so hopefully they'll come back and see us again, too. The winning poems I will have printed as well and put up in the gallery next to the pieces. We'll do that next week. Our preparator is out this week, so I couldn't have it done. And then also we're hoping to have a binder with all of the 67 poems that were entered so that people can look through this summer. And that's something that I obviously have to work on, but I will do that so that people can see them. After we do the reading tonight too, we will have docents in the gallery, so if you have any questions about any of the pieces, they are up there. The yellow triangles are still there as well, which signify the 10 pieces that we chose from our collection, which were a mix of some of our old favorites and our new favorites. So without further ado, we will get started. I have the pieces, the images, the artwork that the poet chose. I will project on the screen so you can see it as they read. So first, we will start with Gloria Klinger, and her poem was The Scarf That Went to Paris. So I will have Gloria come up, and I will quickly turn on the They always take a little time to work out. And they don't want to cooperate with you.
I am wearing, by the way, the scarf.
Very good.
All right. The scarf that went to Paris. The scarf that went to Paris followed the curve of the Seine. through heavy monuments of stone, grandiose and lofty bridges, past the elegant modern Louvre, her favorite, Musée d'Orsay, to Saint-Chapelle and Notre Dame, to outdoor cafes and street vendors of crêpes and palm trees. This is my journey, the brown shimmering strands, a gift from my long-gone friend. My raison d'etre for writing in this moment, her memory a painting, a moving river. I settle on the shaded bank, brown scarf rising on the wind.
Gary Grayson, and his poem is Filling Her Cup. And tea time is that.
I am a non-traditional student at Muskegon Community College, having gone there for 6 years since my retirement, taking a course so I don't look much like a college student. I think I would like to congratulate the first place winner from Grand Valley, a wonderful school. However, I think you should know that the second place, third place, and two of the honorable mentions come from Mary Tyler's poetry breaking class. Mary's a wonderful instructor. She teaches 5 courses. I take them all. So I have nowhere to go.
You need to turn it up. Okay. I can turn it up a little too.
Do I have to go through that again? Or Mary Tyler.
All right, Gary.
I came to the museum and looked at all 10 of the exhibits, and I cut it down to really 2. It was Tea Time by anonymous painter. I must paint a lot because there's a lot of anonymous things. And there was a bronze with 2 women that struck me too, but I chose Tea Time. And I wrote it as a sonnet because I like the stricture, I guess, of this sonnet. So it's Tea Time by Anonymous. The name of the poem, the title of the poem is Filling Her Cup. Suzanne glanced down and thought of his folly. John had asked her for her hand on that spring day. Her heart now filled with deep melancholy. He went gambling and was taken away. John gambled that night and won a large sum in a plush ball that reeked of snobbery, then left with whore Jill, who begged him to come and knifed him to complete the robbery. Suzanne's hands trembled handling the teacup. No better she fared with a biscuit plate. Too upset to sleep, too tired to sup. Had it been random, or was it just fate? It's hard for the English to give up tea, but her cup's now full of good Scotch whiskey.
I said to my docents, I said, you have to hear this one because I'll never look at tea time the same. I'll always think she's carrying whiskey. I won't tell the small children that though. The next piece is Robin Lairs, and her is New York Restaurant. She has another honorable mention.
Hello, I'm also one of Mary's students, so 4 out of 5. Painting New York Restaurant, and it's titled New York Restaurant. He never bothered to look at her while he ate away at her patience. This was not the first time he had stolen a glance at the waitress doubled over, her sizable bow as conspicuous as a flapper's red mouth. She never bothered to look at him while she contemplated which excuse would be best. It was quite common for her to skip out on their lunch in a hurry, often taken with a nervous stomach, like a bootlegger in a raid. They never bothered to look for a quiet corner to lean into. Instead, they chose a table blanched in sunlight in the hub of bustle brought on by the hustle of lunch hour, full of the clink of silver on dishes, stationed as close to the door as a mobster's right-hand man clings to his master's side.
And next honorable mention is Diane DeYoung, and hers is also New York Restaurant.
Since we're honoring our mentors, I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that I've been studying with Jack Riddle. He's a retired college professor, and somebody out there knows him. My poem is entitled Encounter in the New York Gallery, in the New York Restaurant. Encounter in Kenan Gallery. It stops me mid-step. Light so luminous it dazzles, radiating from starched apron and table linen, glowing golden through window curtains, falling softly across fur-trimmed suit jacket, brightening this gentleman's face and raised hand. Is he pouring tea for his lady, or perhaps leaning forward to catch the lilt of her voice? Color draws me closer, the red of her hat finding a complement in his tie, bulbous blue urn, elliptical green leaves, burnished brass, rich brown of door, and on the slender, shapely form of the waitress, gray as soft as the underbelly of a sparrow. Arrested in this New York restaurant moment, my eye travels over the fluidity of shapes, curved chair backs, casual drape of shrugged-off coat, silhouette of standing diner. Waitress bending over a table. The waitress. Will she straighten up with her tray, move swiftly off toward the kitchen? I ache for her to move, yet see that she must hold steady. Let the glint of sun on apron ally with tablecloth to cameo two diners. She leaning off to the side a bit pensively, and he, it seems clearer now, simply eating lunch.
All right. And then Sam J. Wagner with At Home and Abroad by Whitfield Lowell.
Good evening. I'm not really sure whether the name of this poem is, or the name of the painting actually is At Home and Abroad or At Home and Aboard. I've seen it both ways. And considering it's made of board, there's a certain logic there. But my poem is called Beneath, and it was inspired by this poem, or by this painting. Little remains of the canvas, the picture history wants us to believe, or is it canvas from the segregated substandard tents where real soldiers pretended to sleep? Now that's cleared away, and what we see beneath is the hard reality in burnished lumber. 3 tall men who answered the call, Uncle Sam wants you. Men crowding fine new military coats and hats, enlisted to serve their country, the only one they knew. A land so recently healed of war, and yet they returned to war. The point driven home, nails pounded so hard, the hammer marks impressed into the boards. 3 men, their images like the imprints of ghosts who had passed through. Black men whose eyes wax innocent, patient, not knowing what comes next for them. The eyes see, but the voices cannot speak, for they have not yet permission. Having their motives, conscientiousness questioned, criticized, one reverent in his commitment with his hat off, the seated man bearing the brunt of it all, targeted by enemy and enemy alike.
Jennifer Lance is the third place winner, and she had the piece Tea for Two, which is inspired by tea time. She unfortunately could not be with us this evening, so Pam Carney, one of the committee members and a fellow docent at the museum here, is going to read the poem in her place.
Tea for Two. You are stepping through the archway of my studio, pushing past the thick red drape that I've tucked aside so that the sunlight could run its natural course window to window. You stand, waiting for me to clear some place to set the tea things. I know. The wooden floor has pools of unread letters, empty picture frames sprawled against the wall, and there are still 1,000 paintings that must be completed before the rooms darken. You are surprisingly not critical about it all today. You do not even stand behind my easel and point out what is left to do, what colors I've wronged, and how I should make amends. You're already late for the wedding. An old acquaintance, perhaps? A cousin? I confess I wasn't listening. All I know is you don't care for who it is and have decided to wear white so as to offend the bride who will scorn your simple gown and the very dull way you have coiled your mahogany hair. But then you come into the studio bearing tea in that glorious cape you begged me to buy you. 2 whole landscapes worth of a cape. And I confess its rain cloud blue is bewitching, how it enfolds you like a tulip, its exquisite pink lining pedaling around your collarbone. No one will dare say we are poor artists now. You with your silent music, me with my glistening paints.
In second place is Hannah Forner, and her piece is Between There and Here, inspired by a New York restaurant.
Hi, my name is Hannah Forner. I'm also a student of Mary Tyler's. My poem is called Between There and Here. Heaven is not so paintable as a New York restaurant in 1922, humming smooth symphonic jazz and steaming with cups of hot Earl Grey and chamomile tea. The white tablecloth sparsely speckled with the crumbs of toasted croissants and mini eclairs, while outside of the frosted glass windows, the world flutters back and forth between loneliness and fruitfulness. Hopper, I think I know a thing or two about the raw disorder of separation, like oil separating from the pigments of paint, like the space inside the empty eyes of men, or like the merciless feeling of a woman with her back turned.
All right. And last but not least is Charlotte Wilmer. And I know Patricia Clark is here. Patricia, here she is, she's coming. Patricia and I have actually worked on quite a few projects together. So she just wanted to say a few things about the collaboration and things that we've done together. And then we'll finish.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I think it's really wonderful to have the various universities around here collaborate with the museum. And really this exercise of looking at a piece of art is really done around the world as a wonderful way to train a poet's eye to look at detail. And then what happens often is you you look at the detail and you lose yourself in the painting and you start to say some amazing things. And you can hear in all the poems that we've heard kind of questions and interrogations and interesting speculations about the art. And it's just really, really fun. So I encouraged my writing class at Grand Valley to look at the images, to come down and look at them in person, which of course is better than just looking at them online if they could. And I don't know how many students entered, but I was really delighted when Charlotte told me, I guess, or did I hear from you, Ellen, that she had won. And Charlotte isn't even a writing major. What's your major, Charlotte? Math. She's got a very wry sense of humor, too. So I think this is the third class that she's taken from me, but I was just really, I loved her poem before she entered it, and I was hopeful that she would place, but to have her win first prize, I'm just really proud of her. So thanks, and I might take a picture of her when she's up here.
Don't worry, Charlotte. I was an art history major and a math minor, so you can combine the two. So Charlotte Wilmore, and her piece is based on the At Home and Abroad by Whitfield Lovell and Where the Children Will Go. So come on up, Charlotte.
Hi, my name is Charlotte. And my title of my poem is Where the Children Will Go. Stand with a straight back. The future is no place for slouching boys. Be serious now, with your brothers by your side, and your button coats to warn you from what you will endure away from this home I've made for you. Away from this house, I don't know where you'll travel, and it's possible that when you return, you'll be broken and bloody, sleeping in a wooden box. But perhaps you'll get letters that talk about coins waiting in your pockets, and graceful girls who have held your working hands. At my table, I can feed you cornbread and ham soaked in brown sugar gravy, but out there I don't know what will silence your howling stomachs. The world is no place for a tender boy. You'll travel aboard iron ships and tin trains, and the world will creep behind you with quivering arrows in its bow, ready to pierce your open hearts.
Thank everyone for coming tonight. Since we've had such a wonderful response, our plan is to do this again next year. So we hope and encourage all the poets out there to participate. And also, as I said this evening, the galleries are open till 8 o'clock, and we will have a few docents on hand. So if you have any questions about some of the works of art, they're there. There are many treats, so please help yourself, or else the staff has to eat them. And there's coffee. We did fix a coffee pot, but we put it in coffee urn. So thank you for coming in again. A big round of